when you started hustling? Like, what was your first, I guess, occupation to try to support your? Wow, really?
I met some dudes, and they thought that I had to get the gab, and they noticed that when I went to go cop at certain spots in New York and stuff, they felt comfortable enough not to send anyone with me. So I was the opener. And I was always told that you can never do something if you can't see it, then it can't happen.
Right.
If I can't see it in my mind the way it's supposed to go down from beginning to end, and I see a problem, then it's not to be done. So unfortunately, honor amongst thieves started to grow real thin because we did something in New York. We was coming off. I wasn't getting high. Like a quarter key, 75,000. It was 4 of us. But then someone turned a gun on me and shot me.
Really?
What? Excuse me, let me finish my interview, please. I'm not beat. 2023, I was shot 8 times. I was picked up by a trick over here in Brunswick.
On Brunswick?
And I went and I dated him and he paid me, and on the way back he said, before I kill you, I'm gonna get that money back. I need my fingerprints, and he shot me dead center. I stayed in the hospital where he let me to die in Irvington. I was elderly woman, her pimped up my body, and she called the police, but she said she was too scared because he might come back out. He might come. So anyway, I woke up in intensive care. My police notified my family and put out missing person reports. And for 4.5 months, I stayed in the hospital. 6 surgeries, my lower intestines removed, knee was replaced, everything. And the police came and showed me a picture of 2 other women and told me that they believe the person that shot me killed these other 2 women.
Out here on the stroll?
Out here. And do I know them? The women, I said no. And they never came back.
Who never came back?
The police.
The police? Wow. Did you actually know the women or no?
No, but they never even asked me what he looked like.
Okay, we on Emmett and Sherman right now. And today we have...
My name is Kelly.
Kelly? Come this way, Kelly. Where you from, Kelly?
I'm from out west. I was born in Hollywood, California, Kaiser Hospital.
Okay.
Raised in LA, San Francisco, Oakland with my parents and my sister. I've been in Jersey over 20 years.
20 years.
Lost all my family members recently, mom, dad, and my husband.
Okay, let me slow down a little bit. Alright, so you're originally from the West Coast.
Yes.
How old are you, by the way?
I'm 55.
55, okay. So you're 55, you came here.
I came here in my teens. My grandma was taken ill. We relocated back here, my first time in Jersey. Went back out to San Francisco, came back when my grandmother had passed. Been out here ever since. Lost my kid's father at the age of 29. My daughter was 5, my son was 5 months, and I had a baby in my stomach. I had 3 beautiful children, all by one man, and he had epilepsy, and he had a seizure, working 2 shifts because I was on maternity leave and died. I started to sell drugs. Thank you. Love you too. Started to sell drugs.
I gotta get her next.
started hustling because I had 3 kids, and back then I remember I went to welfare in Union County, and after I finished the application for $296, the lady opened up her dresser and told me the door and told me to put my hand on the Bible that what I swore to was the truth for $296, and I got mad and they called security, so I didn't get that check. And my kids were getting death benefits, but he was only in his 20s. How long had he worked? Not long.
Right.
And I didn't know anything about insurance. It was a group insurance policy of $1,000. It cost $4 to bury him.
Wow.
So I hustled and
okay, let me slow down because the viewers might be trying to catch up. Like watching you.
My voice is kind of low because my basic story is I've been out here for quite some time.
Right.
And I just want to let them know that it's really rough out here. I don't understand why, we can give another country a blank check for a war that we had nothing to do with.
Tell me about it.
All these homeless women and men and children out here, and you give them a 5-star hotel with amenities, and you give them a $5 gift certificate for Old Navy.
Don't get me started.
But I got it. You donate clothes to Salvation Army, and y'all put a price tag on it.
Really?
We have to pay for it. They won't give us
you gotta pay at the...
Yeah, the donations that we get at Salvation Army.
Wow.
They put a price tag on it. If we ask them, could we have an outfit because we have nothing to wear, they tell us no. but yet they were free.
Okay, all right, let me slow down. All right, so you came here officially when you was 35 years old,
No,
20 years
I
ago?
was a teen.
Oh, you was a teen.
I was a normal, average teenager.
Right.
Both my parents worked.
So-
I finally met my family because everybody's from back east. My grandmother was my heart and soul, and she passed. And as I got older and had children and met the love of my life, he passed in his 20s.
Right.
And I started to, hustle because I had 3 children. And like I said, welfare in Union County wanted you to put your hand on a Bible just to get $295.
Okay. All right, so let's start from when you started hustling. Like, what was your first, I guess, occupation to try to support your... Wow, really?
I met some dudes and they thought that I would get the gab, and they noticed that when I went to go cop at certain spots in New York and stuff, they felt comfortable enough not to send anyone with me. So I was the opener. And I was always told that you can never do something if you can't see it, then it can't happen.
Right.
If I can't see it in my mind the way it's supposed to go down from beginning to end, and I see a problem, then it's not to be done. So unfortunately, honor amongst thieves started to grow real thin because we did something in New York. We was coming off. I wasn't getting high. Like a quarter key, 75,000. It was 4 of us. But then someone turned a gun on me and shot me.
Really?
One of our own. And
you said one of your own?
Yeah.
Was it friendly fire?
No, he did it because he wanted me to give him
your portion?
My portion.
Oh,
and
wow.
basically leave me for dead in New York on 181st Street.
Okay, let's slow down, because dude, this was your first robbery.
No, it wasn't my first.
This is...
We had done this, but we had a new person who had joined in.
Okay.
A wheelman, and when I got to the car, he turned the gun on me.
And where did he shoot you?
Right here.
On your leg?
Yeah, shot me on my
okay.
leg.
It's okay.
But to speed things up, I became an addict. I guess, they say drugs, institution, and death. That's what it leads to, drugs, institution, and death. Well,
So how did you become an addict? Was it after you got shot, you're saying?
After I got shot and started losing people that I was real close to. Like I said, my kid's father died with 2 children, so I was grinding all the time. I didn't have time to mourn. And finally I got involved with someone who was using, and basically he got me hooked because he knew I could support our habits. But, nothing the hell was on. I went to prison, came home.
What did you go to prison for?
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and they finally got tired of seeing my face. I ran with some heavy hitters, made the paper and the whole 9. But to bring it back to pace, I met someone, took 20 years, and saved my life. And I forgot about death because he died. And
Wow.
he was like my other half. And he just taught me how to be a lady. And I didn't have to run the streets, and I still used.
Right.
But to run in the streets and finally having a home to call home, and having someone to come home to, it was better than the streets. It was way better.
So this was like your first main relation? Well,
After
outside from
after
your kids,
right,
right.
Which was like 20 years after. Like,
right.
I mean, my kids were like saying, "Mom, like, what are you doing? You're still alone." But when people are dying all around you, and you're in the lifestyle, you can't trust your peers.
Right.
Being shot more than once, you know what I'm saying? So finally, he passed. Something I just didn't foresee happening. I don't know why, because he was up in age. I'm 55. He was almost 80. We had met 20 years ago. Married man who left his wife.
He left his wife for you?
Yes.
Oh wow.
We weren't. Yeah. He wasn't. He didn't use. He was a hardworking person.
Did he meet you out here on the streets?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes, he was a Christian. He saw me and said hi. And I finally spoke to him, and then all of a sudden, it was like he was my best friend, because we tried to have sex, but he said it didn't feel right because he felt like I was a daughter figure. Like, because of the difference in age, like 20 years difference.
Okay, yeah.
So for 20 years, I had the best friend I've ever had in my life, as well as my love. I just never knew, like somebody could love me unconditionally.
Right.
Very rare. My parents didn't do that. You know, it was always, you're going to end up like your sister, or you're going to do this, you're going to do that, but it's always comparing to someone. When somebody just loved you unconditionally, it's just a feeling I can't explain, and I lost that recently.
So you say you didn't get that from your parents. Like, how was your childhood?
It was good, but see, mental health issues run in my family, and I understand that now, and that's something that our elders don't talk about. It was always taught to, you know, and whatever goes on in your house stays in your house.
Right.
And you work through your issues.
Right.
You know, and
That's
castor
true.
oil cures everything, right?
Right. So can you talk to me about some things that might have happened, like as you were a child? You think it affect you today?
Sure. I remember my father, very stern, good guy, wrote 4 books, from a dirt poor family, went to school, grew up wonderful. His father was very abusive, so we never even knew his name. I didn't think about that. However, I was always a heavyset kid, and my father had this notion that in order to survive in America, or white America as it was called, because he was more like a militant type of guy, so was my grandfather, that you had to have a certain look, a certain speech, a certain way of living, and he thought that if he moved us to the West Coast, where I was the only black student not bused into my school, but the blacks didn't like me because I wasn't black enough, and the whites didn't like me because I was black.
Right.
So I think that's where I kind of got disassociated.
Became like an outcast during your school years?
You know, it was like, your own don't like you.
Right.
I didn't do double dutch because I lived around, I lived in a section where there were no other blacks.
Right.
My affirmative action came in. My father went to Pepperdine, Yale, Harvard.
Wow.
He's
like a real accomplished, stern type of guy, fellow.
Yeah, but
What about your mom?
at 6 years old, he told me if I lost the weight, he would get my nose fixed.
Wait,
Yeah.
he said if you lost the weight, he'd
would
get your nose
I
fixed?
always said I was just so ugly.
What's wrong with your nose?
I don't know. I guess he just had this. He thought that you had to be a certain look for white America to accept you. He didn't want.
I don't know. I mean, he had me in the beginning, but I don't know about that.
I mean, the distortion. It sounded. He didn't mean it, but he just thought that this is what it took because he didn't want us to go through what he went through. You know, getting stabbed by a fork because it's not your night to eat that imitation fat in the pork and bean bottle. They used to have to share that. They thought it was meat. So between 9 children, but it wasn't his night. And I remember he said my uncle stabbed him with a fork for that little imitation piece of meat. They were that poor. And so I guess he thought that he just didn't want us to go through it. So he tried everything he could to make us fit into a lifestyle that wasn't even our life.
Right. And what was your mom doing in this whole situation?
Working at the VA hospital. She went to community college, started a type of pool, and became an E4 administrator. Stayed with the VA for 46 years.
And they was together during this whole time you guys went to...
They were together until the 80s. They got separated. Father was a Rolling Stone. But they always stayed friends. If anyone needed something, that had anything to do if you were a veteran in the family, you'd be my uncle who passed with HIV, who was a veteran.
Wow.
One phone call, my mother said, I'll get him transported, It was always, she was always invited to all the family functions. But, you know, you're humiliated when your man left you for a younger woman and type shit.
And it's kind of crazy because the man you end up being with kind of left his wife for you.
Right. But I have to speed this up because I know I just want people to know that you can't. Excuse me, let me finish my interview, please. I'm not beat. 2023, I was shot 8 times. I was picked up by a trick over here on Brunswick.
On Brunswick?
And I went and I dated him and he paid me, and on the way back he said, before I kill you, I'm gonna get that money back. I need my fingerprints, and he shot me dead center. I stayed in the hospital where he let me to die in Irvington. I was elderly woman, her pimped up my body, and she called the police, but she said she was too scared because he might come back out. He might come. So anyway, I woke up in intensive care. My police notified my family. They put out missing person reports. And for 4.5 months, I stayed in the hospital. 6 surgeries, my lower intestines removed, knee was replaced, everything. And the police came and showed me a picture of 2 other women and told me that they believe the person that shot me killed these other 2 women
Out here on the stroll?
out here. And do I know them? The women, I said no. And they never came back.
Who never came back?
Police.
The police? Wow.
Never.
Did you actually know the women or no?
No, but they never even asked me what he looked like. And I've been trying to fight for my violent crimes funds, but because they can't produce a police report.
Wow, that's crazy.
Lawyers have asked them for the police report. It's not there. And I remember the day before I left the hospital, I got a package from Irvington Police Department, and it was the dress that I got shot 8 times in.
It was the what you got
My
shot?
property.
Mm.
I thought that would be an evidence.
Right.
They returned it to me. There was no investigation.
They do not care about you girls out here. I know that for a fact.
all.
But for you to get
So I
shot,
just wanted to let them know that I'm coming for them.
don't do nothing crazy,
No,
Kelly.
I'm going to do it legally.
Okay, I got you.
Legally. I'm not going to let, I talked to my children who are adults and I said, listen, I think what they did was wrong. They represented me. They basically told me because of what I do, I get high, I'm not even worth the first 48.
Right.
And what about those other 2 women?
Right.
But in fact, I seen him twice, and he didn't recognize me because he thinks I can. And the second time I seen him, I flagged down an officer, and I said, officer, stop that car. That man shot me 8 times. He said, what are you talking about? I said, October 17, 2023, I was picked up by him, dated. He dropped, and he shot me 8 times and left me for dead. And the man said, well, before I pick him up, I just got to lock you up for prostitution, right? And he laughed in my face. So I decided to ask my family how they feel about me seeking legal counsel.
Right.
And letting my story be told because it's wrong how they treat us.
Definitely.
Like I said, you give them a blank check. And you give them a 5-star hotel, room and board. And you give them clothes. I gotta pay for salary. I gotta pay for free clothes.
Right. That's crazy. You got to pay for free
They
clothes.
say you say cold blue, it could be 10 degrees out here. Cold blue, they still won't, it's not a shelter, whatever, that'll put us out.
Unbelievable. And you said this was last year he shot you?
2023.
23.
And violent crimes is almost up because I have a certain amount of time.
Oh, you better get on that.
Well, I can't. They won't produce it. They can't find my police report.
Right.
I've asked the police, the lawyers asked, my kids asked. They said they can't locate my police report.
What's your full name, just in case the people that's
Kelly
watching?
Lynn Arnold.
Lynn Arnold?
Kelly Lynn Arnold.
Okay.
So I'm going to, it's election time, so I want the mayor of Irvington to know I'm coming.
This happened in Irvington.
That's where my body was dumped, yes.
Oh, that's where your body was dumped.
Yes, he picked me up. I think he's picking these women up in different places, but they're dumping them in Irvington. And like I said, the other women that they showed me and my family pictures of were dead. I think he shot them between the eyes or something on the head. But anyway, I'm not gonna let it happen. They say you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Right.
So, I'm coming.
Can you give me a description before you go? How he look?
Younger man, dark skin, well, medium about your complexion.
Okay, I'm brown
he
skin.
looks like, brown skin, maybe early 30s, late 20s.
Okay.
I think the car is kind of like a Maxima, older model, maybe like 2007 or 8. It's very well kept. They're kind of like, he was really, really nice. He was like, you know, he had the rap music playing, but his car was very immaculate. He had, he looked like he could be like working in, Boost or Metro, like customer service.
Okay,
Very nice, very respectful, but...
You didn't know he had that dark side where he was...
He looked at me and said, before I kill you, I saw it. And I knew he was serious. So I just wanted to let Irvington and let the world know, like, you need to check on your loved ones.
Definitely.
You need to come out here and stop judging us because you don't know our lives. And you need to be mindful that we're you. There's not a person in America that doesn't have a family member who hasn't dealt with addiction or homelessness.
Right.
And if you can give all this money, all this shit to people that don't even, I mean, don't get me wrong, I feel their pain, but what about us?
Right. I agree.
We're right here. You don't give us shit.
I agree.
I thank you.
Thank you. I'll let you go. Have a good one. Maybe we pick back up and we can slow it down.
I hope so. We'll exchange numbers.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Definitely.
keep them up because I'm going to do a live presentation, social media. My daughter's calling Channel 12.
Okay.
So I would like to keep in touch.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good one. You be safe, please.
You too.
All right now.